It's the Morning Moose Show at 7:54. There's a thing this weekend going on in the Wells Fargo Arena called Wizard World Comic Con. And already these celebrities are coming into town to invade our turf, like Sean Patrick Flanery from Boondock Saints. And Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, we should point out, Sean. Huh? Do you get that a lot?
I do, yeah.
How are you, by the way?
Thank you very much, bro. I'm good.
Good. But the Boondock Saints is the big one, right?
Yeah, I'd say what most people recognize me from is Boondock Saints. Absolutely, it's. But Young Indiana Jones has opened every door that's open to me today. If I didn't do Young Indiana Jones, I would never have gotten Boondock Saints. But man, I'm proud of both of those things. I wish more people had seen Young Indiana Jones, but
that should have been bigger than it was, I think. Yeah, because that was, what was that? 10 years after the first Indiana Jones movie.
It was about 10. Yeah.
So I mean, the interest was still there. That sounds like something that got lost in development. Like, that should have happened right after the last movie.
It had a kind of educational spin. I mean, I was the only fictitious character on the show. It was all real-life characters, so I think a lot of people didn't want to get educated, and they, missed out on the fact that it was also kind of exciting. It was also a lot of... But also, as a current theme, we had directors like Simon Windsor and then Terry Jones from Monty Python. So from week to week, you never really knew what you were getting. Sometimes it was slapstick comedy, and other times it was... poetic, horrific, gas, trenches of warfare.
That's kind of what Indiana Jones is all about, though.
Yeah, but from week to week, the entire episode of Terry Jones was a slapstick. It was I Love Lucy, and then it was a horrific NYPD Blue with Dying in Your Arms kind of, so thematically it was a little bit of a different, it was difficult to sell to get people, to subscribe weekly to a consistent emotional theme, but I loved it, man. I absolutely
I'll bet. Did you shoot in some exotic locations on Indiana Jones?
Man, I think the tally is, I think I went to 56 different countries to shoot that series.
Seriously?
Yeah, I mean...
now it's all in Vancouver, right?
Well, yeah. So many people shoot in Canada for obvious reasons, I mean, you follow the money. I mean, people make rational decisions for, specific laws, and whenever there's huge tax credits, if you can get a pizza across the street for 10 cents on the buck, that's probably
right.
There's no difference in the pizza. It's probably where you're going to buy the pizza. But I mean, back then, my God, I'd ride a horse to lunch. They'd call, our lunch, and I'm on a horse, and I'd ride the horse to lunch. It was just kind of a crazy time. It was great, man. It was great.
That's cool. And you were in Suicide Kings, which I thought was an underrated movie.
Thank you, brother.
That should have been a little bit more. That was like, what's the damn Jon Favreau movie? It was kind of like Cameron Diaz was in it. It's kind of dark, but had its funny moments. Never mind.
Cameron Diaz, Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau directed it. Peter Berg was in it. It'll come to me at some point. But Suicide Kings, Girl, Best Men, of course, Boondock Saints. I'm just rattling off your IMDb. Just give me a second here.
Sure, man. Sure.
It's long and distinguished. Is there, out of all the things on that list, what are you most proud of as far as your work?
Most proud of for one specific piece... I think as an actor, the reason you get into business are roles like Powder, and I adored that script. I campaigned to get the part, and I'm really proud of it. Roles like that don't come around.
Wasn't there some controversy around Powder, though?
Understatement of the year, yeah. There was a ton of it. I remember on the night of the premiere, looking outside, and there's all these guys holding up signs, and I thought they were, fans.
Yeah, I love it.
When you looked closely, it was. It was, a little bit alarming. So there was a Disney damage control PR person that escorted me out, and it was just it was a weird experience for me at the time because it was something I knew nothing about. I spent a whole 3 months on set making a film with somebody that I could say I couldn't say a negative word about.
Right.
And for all of that to come to light that he'd served time and stuff it was a really different experience for me, but. As a project, I had a wonderful time shooting it. I thought he was an amazing director. I loved the script he wrote, and for a film, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, and talk about Boondock Saints. How did you get cast in that? What did you pull from that experience coming out of it?
It's funny. How did I get cast? It's funny. Like everything else, I waited around until Patrick Swayze passed.
Whoa, Enzo!
Oh,
yeah,
Enzo!
Man.
That Rihanna ringtone strikes again!
Come on, man.
Enzo from Wells Fargo who escorted Sean in today. I'm sorry, you were saying.
I was, it's kind of the way I get all my films. I wait till Patrick Swayze passed and Marky Mark passed, and finally they come down to me and Reed. We both knew each other prior to that film. We wanted to do the movie together, and if you wait around enough and enough people passed, then they came to us, and we loved it. We wanted to do it, and we had a ball doing it, man.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I keep telling him our connection with Boondock Saints is that was our drunk movie.
Oh yeah,
we get back to my friend's trailer, put it in, and see who lasted the longest.
Well, just so you know, it's me and Reedus' drunk movie as well.
You didn't have the budget for the tea to look like beer, right?
Man, that was a great experience, man. Because it's a film that I got to do twice with one of my best friends, and it's just dudes doing dude stuff in front of a camera. We were shocked that they even let us go make a movie by ourselves unsupervised. It was crazy.
Is there a third one coming?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just signed a TV deal with a company called I Am Global. Now I think that was announced like 5 days ago. So. Continuing on with the.
So is that going to be like what's the term? It's like you shoot it and then you present it to networks. Is it in that stage?
Me and Reedus and myself are also part of the executive producing team. We have a deal with a studio, and they have like first look rights at a handful of outlets, from networks all across the spectrum. So it'll be up to them where they place it, but. As far as the creative end, it's going to be a neat, fun process.
Are you going to be in front of the camera for the show?
Yes.
Okay. Is Norman? I don't know if the Walking Dead situation will allow that.
There's a little bit of both sides that we really can't discuss right now.
Oh.
But it's kind of a neat way to address this.
You know what I pulled from this?
I have no idea.
Is Daryl dies next season? That's what I'm getting from this.
You know what? I wouldn't bank on that, brother.
Mm-hmm. Hey, why are you looking away and kind of getting uncomfortable?
I'm not uncomfortable at all, man. I'm not uncomfortable at all.
We got to the scoop.
No.
Okay.
I'll tell you, man, Daryl Dixon, I'm a fan too, man. I don't want to see that cat croak.
No, that's a cool-ass character.
He's got a crossbow. He's got my back. I don't think so. I think there's some storylines that have yet to be told on that show.
How come you haven't put on the zombie makeup and done like a little cameo?
Well, who says I haven't?
That's kind of what I was wondering.
About like in an Easter egg, we're going to one day go, by the way, season 3 in the scene where,
That would be cool. I wondered like if, Schwarzenegger loves the show, so guess who that big zombie is sludging around in the back?
Football player. One of the Steelers did it.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Wide receiver, retired a couple years ago, was in the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I can't think of who it was. Ward.
Yeah. Heinz Ward. Yeah.
Is that right?
Sean Patrick Flanery, Boondock Saints.
Best zombie ever.
Boondock Saints, best zombie? No, at Wizard World Comic Con this weekend at Wells Fargo. And you've done a couple of these already, right?
Yeah, I have. Me and Reedus, it's funny, he's in Atlanta filming, so anytime we have spare time, we meet out of town at one of these events. It's a killer opportunity to, hang out with people, get some feedback from the films, listen to what they dig, what they don't dig, share stories. It's, we have panels where we tell stories behind the set, and it's a killer time, man.
I'll bet. That sounds like a good gig too, and you get paid for it. That doesn't suck.
Yeah, they fly us here, they put us up, they treat us as royalty.
Talk about something I did 10 years ago. Let's do it. And by the way, speaking of Reedus, we talked to him a couple times. He is the biggest sweetheart. Like, he is the best. One of the best interviews, I think, because he's really nice. He gives you information. He talks to you.
You're okay and all.
Yeah. You're probably
I'm
a
a 5. He's an 8.
He's an 8.5. You're a 4.5.
I'm a
strong 4.5.
A strong 4.5.
Sean Patrick Flanery. We'll see you at Wizard World Comic Con this weekend. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise, brother.
Thank you for coming in.